How we doing, Marcus?
I'm doing good. How are you?
We're good. How was the little mini bye weekend after playing on Thursday Night Football? Did you get some R&R? What were you up to?
Oh yeah, no, it was nice. We played basically, I'll say what was it? 3 games in like 12 days, we'll say. But the mini little bye week was good. Got some recovery and everything like that. So looking forward to this week.
Very nice. Did you get a chance to watch any football yesterday? Do a little, I don't know, like advanced scouting for potential opponents, or just kick back, order some wings and be a fan?
I was basically being a fan this week. I was definitely watching some football and everything, but sat back and just watched football and everything. It's nice, not too many times we get to sit back and just watch football as a fan, so I took advantage of that opportunity for sure.
Okay, I'm probably not telling you anything you don't know, but a lot of people watch football for offense, right? Quarterbacks, wide receivers, scores, and plays. And you try to stop all that in your job on a weekly basis. But when you're watching as a fan, do you like watching offense? Are you rooting for scoring plays? How do you watch as a fan?
I'm just rooting for good football. I'm not really watching it like, oh my goodness, I would love for the offense to score here and everything. I just watch for good football. You could say that I like more good defense and everything like that than good offense.
So, Marcus, going back to, I know now it's been 4 days, and Coach usually a couple of days after a game wants you to start turning your attention to the next challenge ahead of you. But going back to the Jets game, what kind of challenges did the Jets and a very mobile Justin Fields present to you guys? And do you think that may have been some good preparation for you guys with coming clashes against Josh Allen and, of course, Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, I would say, we primarily focus on just the situation of the Jets. Every week is different, so we don't really look at it in the sense of like preparing for another quarterback and kind of going from there. But Justin Fields, you always got to end up accounting for the quarterback. He's an athletic guy and everything, and extends plays and stuff. So that's the main thing that we try to always hop onto and stuff, and then correct the things that we need to get corrected.
Marcus Jones, Patriots cornerback, here on a Patriots Monday on WEEI Afternoons. Speaking of things that need to be corrected, and I'm not going to ask about the opening drive. We've been there. We've done that. But I did want to ask about the red zone. And it seems like that's an area Coach Vrabel brought it up on the Greg Hill show this morning on our station. You guys have had your ups and downs in that area, and I know we've seen a lot of defenses over the years that try to be that whole bend but don't break mentality. How and where do you think you guys can get better in terms of red zone defense?
Yeah, I would say the main thing is communicating. Because most of the time whenever we are in a short part of the field, people try to hit you with tricks or, they try to do speed breaks and, they try to get onto the ball fast and stuff. So, everything's quicker down there. So we got to make sure our eyes are in the right spot and everything.
So you obviously would have heard by now, but Milton Williams injured his ankle on Thursday, and then over the weekend, unfortunately, he goes on injured reserve. He's been a huge addition to the defense this year. How do you think losing Milton Williams for 4 games, he'll be out until late December, what could that mean for the defense, and then what kind of potential stress could that place on the secondary, or how could you guys step up to help out the D-line?
Yeah, man. First off, we hate it for Milt for sure. He's one of the guys that, affect the game every single down and stuff. And, we want him to get healthy and everything. But I believe in the guys, that are stepping up and stuff like that. We've had a lot of situations to where people had to step up. And, our D-line, those guys rotate and everything. So we're going to try to hold it down for him and everything like that until Milt come back and stuff. But we want him to always be fully complete, first off, in order for him to get back onto the field. So,
as a teammate, a captain, a leader, how enjoyable is it to watch some of those guys step up? I know Del Pettis got a shout-out from Coach Vrabel in the post-game breakdown at a key pass defense in the red zone. We've seen Elijah Ponder or Gregory or different, Tonga step up to different roles. How much do you enjoy watching those guys get chances and then take advantage?
I enjoy it a lot. We've seen it from the sense of training camp and then, all of these things and everything, and seeing it at practice and stuff. So it's great for them to, end up doing it on Sunday nights and then everyone else can see and stuff like that and putting good things on tape. It's one of those situations when one person is down, it's the next guy up, opportunity and everything. And we're just excited for those guys to, keep making plays.
Marcus, obviously 4 years in on the New England Patriots now, with many hopefully fruitful years to come. You've come across a lot of different players, great leaders, interesting dudes. Mac Hollins seems like a very interesting dude, and people talk about the very positive effect that he has on the sideline and the locker room. Could you just talk about what his leadership and what his presence has meant to the team this year, 2025?
Yeah, it's meant a lot. I would say from the sense of the energy every single day. Let's get better. We get to do be here and everything and take advantage of every opportunity we get. And it's highs and lows into the game. But the main thing is how are you going to respond? And he has that energy anytime that we're in the building. Let's take advantage of every opportunity and stuff like that. And when you have a guy that's on your team that always has your back and stuff, it makes you want to play harder every down you get. So.
Marcus, one of the storylines that came out last week, thanks to Coach Vrabel letting us know, was that the leadership, you guys, captains, leaders, turned down the opportunity to shorten meetings, turned down the opportunity to go inside for practice on a cold day. How and why did you guys turn those opportunities down, and what do you think that says about your football team moving forward?
Yeah, I feel as though we never want to end up shortcutting the game. Meetings are very important, especially off a short week and everything. We got to make sure to get in what we need to get in. And then the other thing is, that's our home field advantage, when it comes down to the cold and everything. So we're going to be playing in it on Sunday, or that Thursday, but usually on Sundays and stuff. So we got to make sure that we know how to play and prepare for it.
Yeah, that's a great sign when half the team goes in or over half the team goes in on an off day and gets in a lift or gets in treatment as well. But that's obviously the effect and inspiration Coach has. He also keeps talking about the team can't afford any naps. Yeah, no naps. What does that mean? And does he say that a lot to you guys in meetings?
Yeah, for sure. I would say complacency is a thing that that can happen to teams and everything. So we don't have. I believe in this team that we don't have complacency. People in the building. We're always trying to get better. And we're trying to find better ways to make things better every single day, whether it's, getting more meeting time, whether it's, extra things at practice, small things. We don't want to end up having the small things end up adding up to where it can be a costly situation. So our thing is always making sure that we give in 110% in anything that we end up doing, and then just try to stack good days, get 1% better each day.
I think I can guess the answer, but I'm going to ask you anyway. You've never fallen asleep in a meeting at any level, have you? High school, college, anything?
No.
Have you ever seen a teammate fall asleep? Again, don't point names or fingers at this point, but high school, college, you ever seen a teammate fall asleep in a meeting?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay.
Hey, been to a lot of practices, Andy. Come on, it happens. Hey, Marcus, so obviously you guys, 6 games left. After this sort of mini bye where you guys got to rest up and heal up a little bit, you go on the road. Who knows exactly who you'll be facing, depending on what comes down legally after the weekend. But Cincinnati, it could be a desperate and dangerous team known for scoring a lot of points. What kind of challenges do you think that they'll present, and how do you think they'll stress the secondary?
Yeah, first off, they have a veteran quarterback. I'll start there. They have some explosive players that can, do a lot of things with the ball in their hands. And the main thing is just knowing where those guys are at all time and then communicating and then playing to our keys.
Marcus, we'll get you out on this, and I'm not trying to get you in trouble. This is definitely a very general question, but there's been a lot of talk today about pass interference rules and calls coming out of yesterday's games. Do you feel like pass interference is called consistently? Do you feel like when you go in week to week, you know how it's going to be called, or is there just a lot of gray area there and sometimes you're a little confused with how it plays out?
I mean, we always end up, having or Braves would talk to us about, certain things, and us as a team, we kind of know about what the crew is usually calling in a sense, and then kind of go from there. But we always teach the right techniques, as our coaches teaches us the right techniques, and then us as players, we always trying to play with the right technique and everything like that, and dial into what we need to dial into. But we don't control the situation of flags. That's above us. you know. So it's like we're just gonna play the game, you know, to where we can at the best of our abilities, and then go from there.
All right, Marcus, appreciate you joining us on this Patriots Monday after your little mini bye weekend. Good luck preparing for the Bengals, and we'll talk to you next week.